Hi, today I wanted to discuss if your cell phone can cause anxiety. Because in my case, I have discovered that it is an enormous contributor to my anxiety. So I wanted to share my findings with you, what I've discovered, see if it can help you guys in any way. What I did was about 3 weeks ago, I started to do some experiments just to see, after hearing some things, if perhaps my cell phone might be causing me problems. And it was kind of crazy to me. For a long time I had felt it was, because I would get on, I would notice different symptoms coming from being on my cell phone, and I wasn't sure if it was lighting or what it was. But anyways, about 3 weeks ago, I happened to catch a video on YouTube, of all places, and I learned that cell phones can indeed cause problems. A lot of problems, and a lot of the problems I was having. So what I did was I conducted an experiment, and that experiment was to lower my exposure to my cell phone, lower my time with my cell phone, lower exposure to the radiation that comes out of my cell phone, the Wi-Fi that my cell phone is connected to. Just my Wi-Fi is all I really worked on. I do use, well, let me back up there. I don't use a laptop regularly, or at least not one connected to the internet, and I don't use tablets anymore, anyways. So it was just basically my cell phone that was this Wi-Fi EMF type magnifier. Now, this is my experiment. I'm going to go into it in a minute here, but the reason I did this experiment was because there's a few ways that cell phones can aggravate your anxiety. One of the ways is that when you get an alert on your phone, a lot of times that'll spike cortisol for people, which can antagonize anxiety in a big way. But the other way is EMF waves coming off of your cell phone, which was really interesting to me. And it's not just your cell phone. It is a Wi-Fi router that might be in your home, a smart meter that you might be in a close location to, cell phone towers, that kind of thing. There are a lot of things that emit Wi-Fi, including your smart TV, your laptop, things like that. You can't get away from it. I mean, that's the bottom line, and I've learned that, but you can limit it. So what I want to explain is kind of an experiment that I did, that I've had a friend do as well. I'm hoping that you'll do as well, just to see if it does help with your anxiety. Now, some symptoms that might show that you're having problems with EMF would be stuff like insomnia, depression, anxiety, ADD, headaches, ear ringing, fatigue, brain fog, and one that I really noticed was my anxiety and irritability and stress. When I was on my cell phone, I could get irritable and stressed a lot. So those were some symptoms, and if you want to know more about EMFs and exactly what they do to the human body, I'm not here to discuss that as much. I'm not a medical professional, but if you would like to, there's plenty of videos online on YouTube right here that will show you what it does to the body, which is crazy what it does. After hearing what it does to my body, I want to throw my cell phone out the window. I won't, because I can't. I'm as hooked as the rest of us. But it really made me rethink things. So that's important to know. What my experiment basically was, and it was a simple experiment. My cell phone used to be on 24/7, always ready to go. I would sleep with it by my head. It was my alarm clock. Everything. It was my clock in the middle of the night, whatever it needed to be. It was by my side, or it was in my pocket if I left the home. So constant contact with this Wi-Fi emitting, I guess I call it the monster at this point. But there was a lot of Wi-Fi contact with it. So what my experiment was to start turning my phone to airplane mode. Now, airplane mode is on your phone, and it's for use in airplanes, I believe, perhaps. Could be. The computer's running slow. I'm trying to get some extra light on the scene here. Here we go. But airplane mode, what it does essentially is it shuts off the Wi-Fi, it shuts off your phone signal, basically it makes it a brick. There's nothing going through it. I have some apps now that are offline apps that I use when my phone is in this state. But for the most part, you won't get anything. You won't get your text. You won't get phone calls. Blah, blah, blah. You're off the grid. This is what I started to do personally. Now, I can afford to be off the grid. I don't need to respond to anybody in an emergency situation, generally, right off the bat. I go to the movies sometimes. I'm able to turn my phone off, and not run out to have to take a call. So I'm the type of person that could do this, to go on airplane mode. If you can't, my other suggestion would be to keep your phone as far away from you as possible, as often as possible. But airplane mode when you sleep. So turning it to airplane mode. Here's my experiment with turning it to airplane mode. I turned it to airplane mode throughout the day, starting about 3 weeks ago. Overnight, completely on airplane mode all night as it charges. And then during the day, using maybe an hour, 2 hours tops, off of airplane mode, just to do some things, to just see how I would feel, to see if I would see any improvement in my anxiety, my irritability, my stress, my headaches, that kind of thing. So I did this for 3 weeks now. It's been 3 weeks. I limit my use to about 2 hours. I've started to increase it a little bit, but about 2 hours a day. Just popping on here and there, checking social media, emails, whatever I may do. Sometimes I'll even grab an email and do it offline and then write it, and if it's a long one, and go back online and write it and send it. But I find that in that time in social media and stuff, I can do what I need to do online, and pop back off to airplane mode, when I'm not going to be on the internet, to save that, to let my body heal, because basically that's what you're letting your body do, is you're letting your body heal. Now I have a friend that is not, I suffer some illnesses, some chronic illnesses, some mitochondria damage, which is what EMFs particularly affect. But my friend, he is healthy, and I invited him to try it as well, just to see if he turned his phone off for a while. Now he's generally the type of guy that will go somewhere and he'll set his phone away from him. He won't carry it in his pocket. He carries it in his hand, away from his body, at all times. He does understand that there's radiation on the phone. He has longer than I have. But at the same time, when I asked him to turn his phone to airplane mode and to stay away from it as much as possible, he felt a distinct change. I think that's pretty impressive. And he's not one to look at a placebo, and feel something that's not there. So I think that's important. He's learned from it. He's actually putting his phone into airplane mode now if he has to carry it, or if, he has to be around it in any way, even though he tries to keep it far away. Now, in his case, he does have to generally keep it on for alerts during the day, so he keeps it as far away from him as possible. And I'm talking far, if you, as far away as you can still hear it, try to keep it that far away. But just those two results were pretty impressive to me, because it made me think a lot of people must be suffering this, not just me, who has already, issues, but a friend who doesn't complain of anxiety, who doesn't complain of much health, ailments, for his age. So, that was interesting to me. Basically, just, there are a few ways to help, like I said, and one is just to first test it out, and see if you have an issue with it, which I believe everybody does, to some degree. But if you spend some time off of your phone, letting it, stay away from you, just less. See in a couple days. See in a day or two. See when you turn your phone off of airplane mode and back onto Wi-Fi and stuff, if you notice that feeling, you notice this irritability or your headache or whatever your problem's coming back. See if you change any when you turn your phone back onto airplane mode after a, extended time off of it, where it's been overnight or something. See if you notice something. After being on your phone for, 15, 20 minutes, playing around, whatever you do. But I think you will notice that there's a lot. Now, I've started to definitely keep my phone on airplane mode. That's my new goal. And I'm also starting to do grounding now, which is going outside. And I believe, from what I've heard, electricity builds up in your body that is not native. It's not an organic electricity. It's manufactured, and it's a different frequency than our bodies are used to. So our bodies are electrical, and they feed off of frequency, and they feed off of electrical pulses. I guess there's something from the earth. So I'm not sure of the science or mechanics behind it, but what I do know is that I feel like if I stand outside in the ground and put my hands, my naked feet, like, you know, without socks even on, onto the earth, actual earth, grass, earth, whatever it may be, but not concrete, I feel better. My symptoms start to, you know, dissipate from what I felt on that phone. So I can use my phone a lot and sit there and really go to town on it and just feel all the symptoms I felt, go outside and feel better pretty quickly. Showers can also help because it diffuses that electricity, supposedly. And I've heard grounding mats help. There's a bunch of ways that you can protect yourself. But if any of this, you know, I think the cell phone experiment that I ran is important because I think if you find that you are having issues with it, that then you can do other things to protect yourself from Wi-Fi, from frequencies, from electromagnetic frequencies, whatever it may be that you may need to eliminate. You'll at least know from a starting point that your cell phone, you know, you'll see the real results by doing this with your cell phone. So, you know, if you guys have any questions about this or any comments, please leave them below. I'm having a hard time responding to them because I am staying offline often. Trying to be on as low as possible. Most people that get in touch with me, if it's really pressing, or if it's just, if it's not even pressing, just I don't get a ton of replies. But people that it's hard because so many people are on YouTube responding that I sometimes lose track of how many, where comments are and stuff. My inbox in my Instagram seems pretty well organized at this point to where I can get to people, I can write people back. So if you have any questions, comments that I can't respond to on here, then write me at my Instagram account, which would be 50 Shades of Graydon _. I will put that below in the comments, so you have no problem finding it, or in the description there. But yeah, it's something I think you should give it a shot. In the 3 weeks, it's really helped me just beyond measure. I mean, it really has. Like, I'm just at like this calmer place, you know. I'm at a much calmer place, a lot less anxiety. I used to have this teeth clenching kind of thing, which I guess the cell phone is sending out pulses, they say, like this. So I'd have this teeth clenching, like, just kind of as I was using the phone, and that's going away. It's just everything's relaxing, you know, like relaxing down as I get off the phone more and more and more. And it all, you know, it all comes back when I spend too much time. So, for me, it's been huge, and for you it might be as well, but you won't know until you try. That's it for now. So until next time.